You're the way the auto body. Hang on.
Yeah, that's.
I've re-glassed boats before. 2.
I've done. Putting a vehicle made out of fiberglass. Stuff like that, just amateur stuff.
Cool. Oh yeah, I was just doing mine mostly structural. R. What's a pirate's favorite word letter? R. That's right. Good morning, Tracy. Or I guess it's afternoon. Oh, it's still morning, technically. Look at that dog. Dog's good looking. What's that ribbon behind that dog? That's ribbon?
Yeah.
Do you do some ribbon work at your house?
No, this isn't my dog.
So what's up with whose dog is it then?
It's Chastity's.
Chastity.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to my wrong way? Holy crap. There we go. That's Chastity Wynn's dog. Why do you have other people's dogs all the time?
Because they make funny facial expressions.
Oh, I get rhythm. I'm singing. When you get the blues, come on and get rhythm. Sing it. Good morning, beautiful people. Good. Oh, you guys need a handout of each of those. Simone. Simone. Yep, y'all need each of those handouts. And then you need some pencils. Good morning, everybody. You guys that are already here can start working on the do now. Please be careful and only put your answer in the chat. Only thing I want you to do is give me the genotypes. You obviously can't draw the arrangement of the alleles, right? What they're saying by that is just give the genotypes. What is the genotype for this individual? The heterozygous offspring for gray body, normal wings, and then the homozygous recessive parent for black body, vestigial wings. Just what is the genotype for each? That's what they are essentially saying here. Do not put it in the chat yet. Get it queued up and ready to submit, but don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Oh, yeah. What's up? I'm Collie. Good morning, Javier Garcia. You got it. I'm not gonna be able to see y'all. Sorry, butts over there. That's good because I don't want to look at y'all, man. Y'all scared the crap out of me. Woo! Jalen Clark. Good morning, beautiful children.
Hey.
Hey, So the do now is up. When you're looking at it, it says in the table. Obviously, you cannot draw in this table. They're asking you to put the genotypes. Use this information to form the genotypes for these two groups. The heterozygous offspring for gray body, normal wings, and homozygous recessive parent, black body, vestigial wings. Do not answer it yet, though. Do not answer it yet. So if you're leaving because you're making lunch, that's your choice. When we take the quiz, I'm not pausing the quiz because you're making lunch. Just heads up.
Is the quiz at the beginning of class or at the end?
Just you kind of want to be saving lunch for lunch. We have a time for that. So just if that's what you're doing, that's your choice. Good morning, beautiful children. Please do not put the answer in the chat box yet. Please do not put the answer in the chat box yet. I will give instructions on the do now again at 12:03 for those of you guys that are already here. Again, if you do not have a pen and paper, or a pencil and paper, you need to get some because on the quiz, you will have to work out Punnett squares potentially. You're going to need to have something to write with and write on. Taylor Tubbs. Taylor Tubbs.
Does this one count 4 stairs or 6?
It's either 4 or 16.
Yeah, 16.
You don't have to work out a Punnett square. They're not asking you to do that. This question is asking you only for the genotypes for these two individuals. They're giving you the phenotypes here, gray body, normal wings. They're giving you the phenotypes. You just have to write the phenotypes with the other genotypes with the information that's given above. That's how you would score points for this particular question. All right, so those, oh shoot, hold on, I'm gonna let somebody in. Okay, so for those of you guys that have already joined us, we have 2 do nows today. You're going to need something to write on and write with. This one's kind of an easier one, easy to kind of warm up. There's no math involved. You're just having to set up the genotypes. The last statement, let's get somebody to read it for me. Let's get Taylor Tubbs. Good morning, Taylor Tubbs. The last statement in the second paragraph, the last sentence in the second paragraph, read that to me.
In the table?
Simone.
Okay, in the table, draw the arrangement of alleles for the offspring of this mating and for the homozygous recessive parent.
Right, so they're just asking you, essentially, it's a fancy way of asking you, what are the genotypes? Remember, there's a difference in genotype and phenotype. They're giving you the phenotype. What is the genotype for this heterozygous offspring, gray body, normal wings, and then homozygous recessive parent, black body, vestigial wings? You're gonna put it in the chat, but don't do it yet. I'm gonna time you guys. I gotta wait till everybody's in here. Some of you guys have already sent it to me. That's fine. But I'm gonna wait till everybody's in class, but I wanna make sure that if you are already thinking about it, that you are you knew what you were thinking about. So I'll give instructions one more time. Thank you, Tubbs. Let everybody pile in. They're not late till after 12:05. Good morning, beautiful people. Those of you guys joining us. Nice. Okay, it is 12:05. I'm going to give you guys the instructions and then we're going to carry out this do now. Do not answer the do now yet. Please do not answer the do now yet. So in this scenario, they're giving you some background information here. And in the last sentence in the second paragraph, it has the statement or the task. They're really giving you the task. Good grief, everybody's all piling in. In the table, draw the arrangement of alleles for the offspring of this mating and for the homozygous recessive parent. So that really wants you to be able to tell them what are the genotypes for this individual, and then what is the genotype for this individual here. You're going to put your answer in the chat, but do not do it for 2 minutes. There's some of you guys asking me about how am I doing? I'm doing fine. I can't see very well, but I'm doing okay. So go ahead and start thinking about it. I'll take an answer in 2 minutes. Do not submit your answers yet. Do not submit your answers yet. I'm going to call on an individual to do it, to give us what they have, and then we're going to compare our answers to theirs. For those of you guys that are joining us, we have already started the do now. In this situation, you're given some background information and then you're given a task. It says in the table, draw the arrangement of the alleles for the offspring in this mating and homozygous recessive parent. This is the parent. This is a particular offspring. They're giving you the phenotype, gray body, normal wings, heterozygous individual, and then a homozygous recessive parent for black body vestigial wings. Use this information up here to give us the genotypes. And it is time. So I'm going to call on somebody. Jalen, can you give us your answer in the chat? And then we'll see how it compares. Thank you, man. You're fast. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. So you put B plus B and then B, VG, B, VG. Okay, so let's work on, I'm going to work on formatting this in the way that it occurs in the rubric. That's good. Everybody else drop yours now. Drop yours into the chat. Let's see how many people agree with him. And thank you, Jalen, for being Johnny on the spot.
Sure thing.
Everybody can drop them in the chat now. Yo, let's go. Weakness. Excellent. Okay, I see some things that you guys did, and I want to work on these. I see some good there. So, and I'm going to out Lopez. Lopez, you gave 2 different ways that this could have been written. Let's take a look at how they really wanted it formatted. So we have a table. I'm going to put the table here. This is how you would have scored points. And I want to go back and I want to look at this question and think, how did I get these particular answers? And if you can go back and you look at yours and compare it. So the information is gray body and they're heterozygous. So we know it's going to be 2 different alleles for gray body. So I look up here and you can see what they did. Instead of using a capital B, and Lopez, you did this. What they wanted you to do is follow some different instructions. Rather than using capitals and lowercase letters, they give you a very specific task. B plus, so the little plus symbol indicates that it's dominant. So B plus and then B. That would have been heterozygous for gray. Gray is going to be B plus. Excellent. And then there was a comma for the next genotype or next, allele combination for the genotype. In this case, they had normal wings. Normal wings is dominant, but it's not going to be VG plus both because they're heterozygous. So they do have normal wings, but they carry the recessive vestigial trait. And that would mean that was VG. So VG plus and then VG. And you just literally type them next to one another. Homozygous recessive, so black is going to be 2 lowercase letters. Here's black, 2 lowercase b's, no plus, BB, comma, and then VG. And the VG is a vestigial wing. They're homo, meaning they're the same. They're going to have both alleles the same. Good job. Okay, some rules for today, but as we get started. I'm going to give you another practice do now. We're going to take a look at it. When we work through this, I'm going to have you guys help me. I cannot see very well. And because I can't see well, I don't see the chat pop up unless I look down. I have to literally look for it. So if you have a question, I want you to use your mic and just ask the question. 2, if you see that somebody put something in the chat box, then I need you to call out and say, hey, this person has this question, because it's very difficult. There's nothing that I'm looking at that's in focus. Everything's out of focus. But it's not too bad with my one eye. So here we go. So new question, or new background information first, and then we're going to look at what they're asking you to do. So I've got 2 double heterozygous individuals and who were crossed for 2 unlinked traits. So this is key information here. These are unlinked traits. And the traits are fur color and ear shape. Brown is dominant to black and round is dominant to pointed. So we got that part. Round and dominant are the two variants, and then no, brown and black are 2 variants, and then round and pointed are my other variants for shape. A total 2,177 F1s were produced. So in this case, here they are. Below are the phenotypic ratios. And really what they did is they just didn't give you the ratio, they gave you the number. And this is also a release question. This is one that's very similar to what it'll be like on your exam. So you have your test is going to be Tuesday. It's not all genetics, it's only heredity. Now, using the data below, determine whether there was a statistically different number of individuals from what was expected. What information in this right here, in this task, tells you which statistical test we're going to use? There's something here that's key. What test are we going to use? Okay. Again, if somebody, please use your microphone, and if somebody put something in the chat, somebody share it.
Statistically different number of individuals?
That's key, but there's another word in here that tells you, I mean, because any kind of statistical tool is going to is looking for a difference, right? A statistically different number. But there's something else written in here that tells you which formula you're going to use, which statistical method or tool you will use. So some examples would be like standard deviation, but that's not it. There's another key word that should tell you this.
Is that expected?
Okay, it is expected. What tool do you use when you have an expected value? What formula do we use? What statistical tool do we use when we have an expected value?
Chi-square?
I'm sorry?
Is it chi-squared?
It is chi-square. Excellent. I don't know who that is, but thank you so much for that. It is chi-square. So let's work this out. Now that we know it's chi-square, let's see. We saw that it's an unlinked trait. So what should the ratios be for an unlinked trait? If we are crossing 2 double hets, what should the ratio be? And I'm going to stop sharing so I can type on this and make some changes. This is the first step to doing this. Come on, you silly machine. Work the way I ask you to work. We're in control of machines. Machines are not in control of us, at least at this point. We'll wait till AI gets started and see how that works out. All right, so what should my ratios be? I'm assuming
Is it
you guys.
9331?
That's right, baby. It's 9, 3, 3, 1. Now, we're probably ready to get this started, but I don't know yet. I need to do something else. I need to make some conversions here. So what do we do? What do I need to convert this to? Well, the first thing, what are we starting with? They're giving us the total number, 2177. That's how many individuals, 2,177. I need to know how many, what does that break down to? What was my expected? If I 9 out of how many here? How many total, what is the sum of all these expected ratios? If I were to take 9, 3, 3, and 1, what's the sum of that?
16.
It is a 16. Excellent. So let's just go ahead and get these into decimal form so we can get what would be expected. What should we have here? They gave us our observed here. There's our observed. We got our observed. Now we've got to get our expected. They don't directly give that to us. So what is 9 divided by 16? I'm going to call on specific people for that information. 9 divided by 16. So let's go to Precious first. Precious, 9 divided by 16. What is that, sweetheart? Oh my God. Please don't chat it to me if you can speak. Okay, oh, but you can tell me right here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so in this case, 0.56. And I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and carry that decimal out 4 decimal places, just for now, just because we're dealing with some pretty big numbers. That point, that 2.5 not making a difference at this point. So let's go to the next one, and let's go to Alan Mock for this. 3 divided by 16.
Uh, 0.1875.
0.1875, thank you, which means the next one's going to be the same, right? So that, I mean, 3 divided by 16 isn't going to change. The nature of the universe is still the same. Math is always going to be consistent. All right, last one, Brandon, what is 1 divided by 16?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I hear you like a champ. Just give me the number.
Can you repeat the question?
And right, it's right here. 1 divided by 16. There's a trend. Wait, 9 divided by 16.
0.065.
Thank you. 0.625. Excellent. Now, what I still need to get this number, right? I need to know what that this gives me a percentage. I need to get what is the number for this. So what would I do now? What do I need to multiply these by to get my expected value? Somebody help me. What should I do? I don't want to do the problem exactly for you. I just want to answer the question. What should I put in there? I'm sorry?
Is it 100?
No, not 100. That's going to give me the percentage. I don't need the percentage. What I need is the number of individuals that are brown and round. How many would I expect to be brown and round? I have my observed. This is what actually occurred. What should have occurred? What do I need to do to get the expected number of brown and round? How would I get that information? What do I multiply this number by to get that? And this is for anybody. I'm literally opening it up to anybody.
The total?
Yeah, the total. And what is the total, sweetheart?
2,177.
You got it. You got it, Clark. Good job. Simone. So now I want you guys to all start working this problem out. I'll be asking you guys for this number in just 1 second. I need to know what we have. And then we'll have our expected values, and then we're cooking with Crisco. Then we can start doing plugging some numbers in and getting an answer. But we haven't done chi-square in a while, so it hasn't gone away, it still exists. Go ahead and calculate all 4 of these. You can use your phone. Obviously, you need to use your calculator. I'm not expecting you not to use a calculator. So the 4 of you guys, I should see you guys working on your phone or somehow to calculate these numbers. Okay, let's go to Emma for the first one, brown and round. Emma, what did you get? Calling on Emma. Oh. Calling on Emma. Emma, please. Well, all you have to do, sweetheart, is just multiply these numbers. 0.5625 times 2,177. What is that number? If you have a phone or even your computer has a calculator, everything, you can do an online calculator. What is that number? And please share. If you put it in the chat, make sure everybody can see it so somebody can read it out to me, because I have a really hard time seeing it. We're waiting on you, kiddo. And everybody else should have the other numbers. So when I come to you for lickety split. I'm sorry?
Do you want us to round?
Yeah, round to the nearest whole number. That's a good point. Round to the nearest whole number. Well, we'll know in a second when Emma gives us the answer. If she's putting it in the chat, somebody read that chat to me.
She says 1,225.
Okay, cool, thank you. All right, let's go to the next person. So, Mariela, what did you get for this one?
I got 122.
122, 18% of 2,000 cannot be 122. Do it again, 0.8.
Well, like it was has multiple numbers.
Just 0.1875 times 2,177. Try it again. It can't be that big. I mean, that small. It's got to be a bigger number than that.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 5.
Can't be. So I'm going to jump to somebody else. Let's go to Lopez. What did you get?
I got 408.2.
408.2. Okay, so I'm not going to round. Yeah, just nearest whole number, which means this number is going to be the same thing, 408. And then finally, the last number, let's go to the most wonderful child in the room, Matthew Medina.
I got 136.
136. Excellent. So now we've got our expected values. So obviously some problems on your exam are going to be longer than others. Some things you need to be able to answer quickly. That's why I was showing you guys the trick for the unlinked versus linked traits, so that you can just get these, you at least know 9331 if that was an example of that, if that's what all they were asking. But other questions are going to take longer, and therefore you need to make sure that when you come to the easier questions, you've studied, you know what to do, you hit it, and you move. All right, let's solve this and see what we get. Let's get some calculations. What are all of these equal to? What are all of these equal to? I'll give you guys, say, 2 minutes to make all these calculations. That's plenty of time. Oh, this is, by the way, I could not here. That's supposed to be squared. This 2, I could not do that. That doesn't on PowerPoint. PowerPoint will not allow you to do it. You should just know that. I mean, you can see the formula right here, right? And you guys were correct on these numbers here, right? So you guys did a good job. this is, use the formula, observed minus expected, and then you're going to take the square, and then divide it by 122. Or is it, yeah, excuse me, 1,225. You probably want to be, and this is a good exercise. Like I've walked you through this, and hopefully you're writing every step down so that when you go back to study for your test, you can go, okay, I might get a problem like this. And if you're writing, you're thinking. If you're thinking, you're learning. If you're learning, you're getting better. Okay, let's see who the beautiful children are here now. Let's go to Dylan. Dylan, brown and round. What'd you get for brown round? Dylan, Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Dylan.
Is that little too important? 'Cause I don't know if I was supposed to be there. Okay.
What? What are you talking about?
Because you have the other numbers in parentheses about two.
Yeah, the 2 is just, that's, here you go, observed minus expected, and then you're going to, whatever that is, you're multiplying it by itself, squaring that sucker. Okay, divided by 1. Dylan, if you don't give me an answer, I'm gonna bounce you out of class. You won't be able to take the quiz. I'm not joking either. You have to participate. You're not, I'm just gonna assume that you're not here if you don't give us something. Going what?
Restroom.
He said he went to the restroom?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very convenient. Well, we'll catch him down here. Hopefully he's not pooping. All right, so let's just go to the next person. Let's go to Daisy Aguilar. Brown round, kid. Give us brown round.
I got 7.2.
7.2. Okay, 7.2 sounds pretty decent. Let's go for brown and pointed ear. The brown pointed ear. Hairball, what'd you get for this one? Brown point. What'd you get?
Wait, what'd she get for the?
She got 7.2. I'll give it to you again in a second. I'm just making sure
Mr.
people are
Poe,
doing it. Yeah?
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me?
I don't know if it's just you or if it's me. It's probably me because my Wi-Fi is slow, but I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, well, do what? Yeah, I think it's just your computer because the kid's in here so they can hear me through this. So I'm asking you to make this calculation for brown pointed. What is your calculation for this? Did you hear that?
I am. Yes. Sorry. Give me a second to do it.
Okay. Oh, it's not hard. There's nothing hard about it, kid. You're right, kid. I'm talking to the students in here.
I don't know if this is right, but I got negative 2.06.
2.06. Okay, so I would round that to 2.1. Okay, black round. Let's go to Terry Lazaria. What did you get for this one? Should be a really small number. 405 minus 408 squared divided by 408. That's going to be a really small number.
I got 0.022.
Okay, 0.022. All right, and then the final one. Let's go back. Hopefully Dylan is back. Hopefully you had a nice restroom break. Dylan, what did you get for this one? Poor Dylan. He's not, I'm gonna open up the quiz. He's not gonna be here for it. Let's just see what I got. I'm gonna try to go fast to catch him on the pot. So I've got brown round. This is my number. Good job. Daisy, you were correct. Good job. I can't remember this. I can't remember who this was. I think, oh, this was Hare, 2.1, exactly. 0.02, excellent, Terry. And then finally, this was our big one, right? This is where we were way off. Something was potentially going on here. I don't know, when we get to evolution, I can kind of explain this. Now, what's the last step I have to do? Now that I've calculated all of my groups, what do I have to do next? What does the formula say that we need to do next? Observed minus expected squared divided by expected for each group. Now what do I have to do? There should be something here. Let's go to Salinas. Salinas, what do we have to do now? Romello. What do we have to do? Romello, are you there? I'm going to give you and Liel, either you and Liel have got to come chime in and say something, or I'm going to bounce you out of class in 10 seconds. I'm just going to say deuces at this point. So 10, okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to open up the quiz. If anybody does that again, the quiz opens, everybody takes it instantly. Instantly. We'll just go straight to the quiz. We are going to take the sum of this number. And now, after I've taken the sum, and I do get my sum of 58.7, I'm going to go to my probability level. I got a p-value, and I have my degrees of freedom. And how do I find out what my degrees of freedom are? Degrees of freedom are going to be n minus 1. N is going to be, remember, the number of groups. So how many groups did we have? That's just going to be the number of phenotypes. How many categories did I have? So we had brown, round, brown pointed, black, round. So there were 4 of those. So the 4 minus 1 equals 3. We have to use 0.05. Remember, that's going to be the p-value we're always going to use. And so degrees of freedom 3, p-value 0.05. I get 7.8. So 7.8 is my critical value. My chi-square value is 58.7. 58.7 is greater than 7.8. So would I accept or reject? Would I accept or reject? And Romello, this is yours. This is your last chance. Accept or reject. You will be removed in 5 seconds if you do not at least give it an attempt. Deuces. All right, now let's go to the next. We'll go to Lial. Do I accept or reject? Lial, do I accept or reject?
I think you reject.
You're right. You would reject the null and accept the alternative hypothesis. So there was something going on here. Don't know what it is, but this is not what we would expect to get. This is not what we would expect to get. So I'm going to open up the quiz now. So please go to today's lesson. Today's lesson is, January the 25th. You will see a Punnett Square quiz. It'll be published, and I will unpublish it in 10 minutes. You have 9 minutes once you open it. Everyone should be able to see it. You should be able to refresh your screen now and be able to see the quiz. It says Punnett Square quiz. You got it. You got 10 minutes. Well, 9 minutes once you start. I will start the lesson in 10 minutes. I have anchor charts around the room too, if you guys need them. I brought them up here from class. For those of you guys that are in person. If you're not taking the quiz and you're here in class, I'm going to bounce you out so that when we go to group work, you're not slowing people down. You have 5 minutes to log on to take the quiz. You are in class, but not logged on to take the quiz. You will be counted absent and you will be booted from class within the next 4 minutes. You must take the quiz. If you cannot find it, you need to send me a chat. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't be helpful. But some of you guys asked some questions, and I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful than that. Most of you guys are going to be timing out in about 1 minute. I will start the lesson, today's lesson, with the second part of it in about 34 seconds. Most of you guys have finished. Okay, here we go. Yeah, is there a retake for this? Of course, there always is, but you have to come to office hours. I'll review it today in office hours. Okay, we need to look at pedigree. So what is a pedigree chart? It's really simple. This is actually one of the easiest things that you could learn. What is a pedigree chart? It really is basically just kind of a history, kind of like a family tree, but in this family tree, we're just recording traits. I actually had to have one of these. My wife and I, when we got married in the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church is against, her family's Catholic, and they're against birth control. And one of the things that they try to do is just kind of weed out people that are interested in getting married. Maybe sit down and have an interview with the geneticist, and you don't have to take any blood or anything. And look at the family histories of a person to see if you mated, would you potentially have an offspring that could have some recessive traits that could be really damaging or cause birth defects, and so that you could be aware of it. And sometimes it's just like it's the whole idea of like where logic meets ethics. Is it ethical to start a family when you both carry a recessive allele that doesn't hurt you but could hurt your children? And it's really kind of a conundrum. It actually makes a really good TOK essay if when you kind of compare what is your religious obligation, what is your scientific obligation, what is your pathos, your passion say, and what is your ethos, what does your ethos say? It's really kind of different ideas that are kind of clashing. But you can use this to study what could potentially happen or what has happened in history to your family. And they're really useful if you have large families. In my case, my family's very small. And I could not get much of a family history because we have very few people in our family. And so Patty had 35, being Catholic, she had 35 first cousins. There was a lot of data to look and know what she had in her family and very little for mine. So actually we went and got tested using blood, and they used that to look and see if there was any kind of traits that we could potentially harbor. It's just something to think about, whenever you guys try to make a decision on whether you want to have children or not. Now, what you can do here or what you cannot do here is force people to breed to see what's going to happen, right? That's not ethical. We don't do that to people or with people. Maybe animals or plants we can do that with, but for people we can't. So studying pedigree charts is an ethical way of looking at human genetics without having to take any kind of tissues. Today, just like I said, we can do even better assessments of what could potentially happen if we were to have a mate. And I encouraged you guys to really think about this when, this is something that's probably going to come up with many of you guys within the next 10 to 15 years before you start to decide to settle down with somebody potentially and have a family. And so you can sit down with the genetic counselor. But let's get to it and take a look. So how to read these? There's some symbols here that are going to be important. So in this case, these symbols are very straightforward. They're not difficult to understand. We'll look at a normal male. We know he's a male because it's square. We can look at an affected male. In this case, is affected, has this trait that's potentially harming this person. And sometimes it does, affected doesn't necessarily mean that it's a harmful trait, but it could be a recessive trait. They're typically going to be recessive, but sometimes they could be dominant as well. Just kind of as a rule, that's what you'll generally be looking for, but sometimes they're going to throw some ringers at you. We have normal females. Females are going to be circles, and then we have shaded in females that are affected. Marriages are going to be horizontal lines. They're going to be lines that go across. And then unions with children are going to be these vertical lines. So these are the children for these people. You're going to put the eldest child on the left and work your way to the right. So your oldest to your youngest. The horizontal line represents a situation here. Now, this trait, when you're looking at this particular pedigree, this third male child, is this a recessive trait or a dominant trait? What do you guys think?
Recessive.
How do you know it's recessive, Mark?
No, because there's because the two males, there are three males, two aren't affected, one is affected.
Well,
So
and you're right. And if it was also dominant, would one of the parents also have the trait?
no.
Oh, I think it would. Like, let's say this is a dominant trait and this male has the dominant allele. To get
Yes.
the dominant allele, he would have had to gotten it from his parents. So you know that this is a recessive trait because it's not expressed by the parents, but it is expressed by the offspring. So I know whatever this trait is going to be recessive. Let's look at some more. So here, sometimes you can see that these are kind of shaded in. You'll see here that these are like a light blue. Sometimes they'll give you some information here that light blue, that means that they're carriers, that they're heterozygous, and sometimes they'll be half shaded, just in case you're wondering why that is. But there's other ways to think about this and being able to name individuals. So in this case, we have generations labeled by Roman numerals. So I've got generation 1, and that's these people here. This would be generation 2, that's these individuals here. Generation 3, that's going to be these individuals here. And then finally, generation 4, which are these individuals here. So this would be like great to these people. This would be their parents. And then this would be from here, this would be their grandparents. And this would be their great grandparents to these individuals here. That's kind of how you would read this. But generation 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these first people had a pretty big family. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Only 2 of their kids married. This daughter married this man. This man married this somebody else's daughter, right? Somebody else had a wife here, and they had 1 child. And then these people had 3. So this family sizes usually get smaller, but these people decided to buck the trend, have 5 more. Now, what do I do to identify individuals within that group? So you combine this. So generation 2, individual 3. Generation 2 here, and then we got 1, 2, 3. They have the condition. We don't see the condition again until we get here and we see that generation 4 has individual 1 and 3. Or excuse me, 2 and 3. Individual 1 does not have the trait, 2 and 3 does. And that's how you would identify them. So let me ask one of you guys a question. So let's go. I don't think I've shaken Abigail's case today. Generation 3, individual 3, are they male or female, Abby?
Male.
I'm sorry?
Male.
That's right, they are male. That's them right there. They are male. All right, now I'm going to give you guys some practice. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to the website. And when you get to the website, you're going to see it says pedigree practice problems. Go ahead and open that. Open that document. Pedigree practice problems. Ah, good job, Leah. You're already there. You got this redemption redemption time, you're redeeming yourself. Still waiting on several of you to open genetic practice problem. Yeah, you guys have hard copies in here. I mean, you guys have hard copies. You could just use your hard copy for sure. Absolutely. There's the first one is going to be it should say genetic practice or pedigree, not genetic practice problem, but pedigree practice problem. Hold them up. The one, nope, yep. It's the shorter one. Yeah, we're gonna do the short one. Yeah, pedigree practice problem. Sorry, not genetic practice problem. Okay. Okie doke. So you guys probably have this document open by now. At least I hope so. What we're going to do is we're going to practice these. We're going to do a little practice here, and I only want you guys. And I'm going to go here. Let's just open Argueta's. She's got hers open. Let's see, Argueta. I'm assuming you guys can see this. Am I sharing my screen where you guys can see the practice problem? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. All I want you guys to deal with is just do 1 through 5. You're gonna. So one of you guys are going to share your screen. I'm only going to give you guys 5 minutes to work this out. Really quick, really fast. One of you guys that's the most confident person is going just to share with one another this information. And, here 1 through 5, you all have it and fill it in. And I'm just going to go through and see that you guys are filling. Everybody's doing their own. Everybody's doing their own. You guys are going to just work as a group to get this done. You got 5 minutes, and then I'm going to work out some problems for you to show you guys how to do this so you can practice it on your own tonight. All right, so I'm going to break you into breakout groups. When I go into those rooms, you're going to be talking, sharing your screen so that you guys are making the most of your time and helping each other. Go for it. And you guys here, you can work on your own paper, but talk to somebody else and we'll share their screen. All right, you got 5 minutes. Abby, are you in here, baby? Abby, can you join your group, kiddo?
Hey, Mr. Pope, can you put me back in my breakout room?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know that I can. It says that you can join it.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody share the screen. Tell them. Are you your microphone on? Yeah. All right, you guys share your daggum screen so you guys can work on this together. One of you guys needs to share your screen for this document. I'll come back in a second. Who's sharing your? No, so one of you, not you, can't be you. So you gotta let them know. So we've got hard copies. Y'all are on the same thing. What are you doing? One of you guys share your screen, yo, so that you guys can work on these by your and talk your way through it. Talk to each other. Otherwise, there's no point in having breakout rooms when you guys collaborate. None at all. Yeah, he's got a hard copy. It's gonna have to be one of y'all. Are you guys sharing the screen? How are you guys communicating and working on these problems?
I'm asking anybody if they started on it.
And that's it? Has anybody responded to you?
Only in chat.
If you guys aren't collaborating, then I'm literally not going to teach the next lesson. I'm just going to give you guys a quiz over this. If you guys don't collaborate, I'm not joking. So either, get to work together or We'll just hammer time. You guys decide.
Oh my God.
What?
Nobody can share their screen in our group because Earl's using his phone for a microphone.
Oh.
Cameron's computer won't let him, and Daniel has a copy.
Well, you can all at least look at it and talk to each other. Hey, how are you guys communicating here?
We're talking.
How?
I came on my mic. I don't know about everybody else though.
I got a message for everybody when they come back. You have 2 minutes, kids.
Mr. Pope, if you're talking, you're muted.
I'm not talking. I'm waiting for everybody to get out of the room. They still have a few seconds. Coolio, everybody's back. All right, so I'm curious, is this a waste of our time to go to breakout rooms? Yes or no?
No.
It isn't. Some people's docs won't let them edit it. You have to be logged in with your Uplift account. You can't be logged in with everything else. Okay, some of you guys are saying it. You could say it depends on the group. Sometimes it's a waste of time. Sometimes it isn't. It kind of depends on the group. So what I can do, and you guys tell me, we'll vote on it. Is this fair? When I go into groups and people are not talking, no one's sharing, I can just bounce them out of class, and then I can reconfigure groups, and maybe we'll go from 30 people in class to 15 people in class. Is that fair? Yes or no? And keep it private. Yes or no? I'm at 3-3 at this point. I've got 3 yeses, 3 nos. Okay.
Wait, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, would you want me to bounce people out? Like if I go in and people aren't talking, then, should I just bounce people out of that group and then reconfigure groups? Like I go in and there's nobody having a discussion. I don't want to waste y'all's time. We have 1 semester this spring that we're going to have to be online. And if I am wasting my time with you guys in breakout rooms, I could make it easier. I go to one breakout room, people are sharing, talking, doing their job. I go to another and everybody's silent. If it's going to be silent, there's no point. And I'll read you. I won't tell you who these things, but see, people say, people are saying, yeah, some people are paying attention and they're really doing the choice to make a choice to take this seriously. Other people say, yes, I think it would be a good idea if you do this. Some people really work better in these groups, and so it's very helpful. Other people say no, they want to do it individually. Well, if you want to do it individually, then you can watch the videos. If you're not going to interact, I mean, that would be an honestly way to answer that, right? I'm going to tally these up, and then we'll start a discussion when we come back. Do you guys want to work seriously, try to get down with each other and try to get to go to work, or do y'all want to fool around? If you want to fool around, I'm going to bounce you. You can watch if you want to work, work individually, then you can just watch the videos for Pete's sake. It's really hard because I'll have people that are sending me texts going, nobody's helping me in here. Nobody's helping me in here. This is, I just want to make sure that, I don't want to fool around. So I'm going to walk you through for 10 minutes and then I'm going to know who cares because I'll go and I'll look at these documents tonight, that one document, those practice problems, and let's see who actually does it. So that'll let me know who cares and who doesn't. And then we can go from there. Yeah, that means you'll be counted absent, but at least I don't know what to tell you. You'll be counted absent if you'll bounce you out of class too, because you're not doing anything. So either way, you're counted absent. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll see y'all when we come back. Okay, so brown owls are dominant to eye color. So look, they get wordy. So please watch what I do so that you can see this. Brown eyes are dominant eye allele, right? So brown is dominant, blue is recessive. A brown-eyed woman whose father has blue eyes and whose mother had brown eyes marries a brown-eyed man whose parents also had brown eyes. Now, that's a lot of brown and blue all worded in one sentence. So let's see if we can kind of tease this apart. I got a brown-eyed woman whose father had blue eyes. Blue over here is telling you that they're afflicted or they're affected. So blue has to be recessive. There's a little key here. Blue, so that's the recessive allele. So a blue-eyed woman, this is that woman here. Her father has blue eyes. He is going to be homozygous recessive. Now, mom, it says that she has brown eyes, right? The mom herself has these brown eyes. So it doesn't really tell us if she's dominant or heterozygous or homozygous dominant. Here we have a man, the man that she married, he has brown eyes. His parents also have brown eyes. We're not really sure about their genotypes, but these two people get together and have a son. So this man must have the recessive allele because you got to have both of those alleles together to express that trait. So how would I answer this? It says indicate which individuals you are certain of their genotype and which ones have more than one possibility. Well, I did it for you. Here's generation 1, generation 2, generation 3. And look how I did this. So I know this man here, generation 1, generation 1, individual 1, I know his genotype. I'm 100% certain of it. Generation 1, individual 2, we're not sure. It could be either way. Because if I mate this individual with this particular genotype, these two genotypes, I could get brown eyes. I could pair this brown allele with either of these and it work out. I could also do the same thing here. However, I know that this is her genotype. I'm 100% certain of this. So in this case, I'm really know theirs as well. I actually know that's not, no, I take that back. I do think that is, I still don't know. This is where I am uncertain. Same here. So individual 3 could be could be either any of these. We don't really know for sure. We know they're heterozygous, but we don't know which combination of these two. I know that at least one of these parents has to be heterozygous, at least one, for him to get this recessive allele, but you don't know for sure. We do know the genotypes for these three, but we don't know for these three 100%. We don't know. That's how you would actually have to write this in on the exam, on the test. They're gonna have to, if you're asking you about the genotype for these individuals, you have to identify which individual we're talking about. Generation 1, individual 1. That's, and you would literally have to write Roman numeral and then a number 1. If you don't have Roman numerals on your computer, which it's possible, you would need to write generation 1, individual 1 to do it. You're not writing on paper, but we've still got to learn how to take these tests, because when we do it at the end of next year, we don't have we're going to be writing on paper at that time. If I wait to start practicing these types of questions next year, we're going to be in a kind of a pickle. That's the first one, and you'll get, and that's one of the ones from this handout that I give you. Let's look at one more, and this is from the other handout that we'll practice these all next class, as long as I see people, putting the effort in tonight. Do as much as you can. Is the following autosomal or X-linked? X-linked is sex-linked. Remember, autosomal is any of the first 22 pairs of chromosomes. They're X chromosomes, that 23rd pair, that XY chromosome. So is this an X-linked trait, or is it dominant or recessive? Well, let's take a look and let's see. So I'm going to consider it, we're just going to do it autosomal first. Autosomal, so this could be normal Punnett square. I can combine this and, and I'm just going to call D dominant recessive. Obviously, it's going to, when we combine these parents don't have the trait, right? They don't have the trait. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be a recessive trait. I'm going to go there at least. But then I need to know if it's X-linked, because they're not expressing it, but their children express it. Then these two individuals here, these two males, that's got to be their genotype. You would think that has to be their genotype. But could it be X-linked as well? This, by the way, these two double lines, that's going to be twin girls. So let's look over here. Is it possible? Well, what do you guys think? Could this be X-linked? Do these genotypes give you something that these parents don't express it, but the children do? We got 3 minutes. That's literally the last question I want you guys to take. Is it possible for this to work as well? This parent, this male, X, Y, he doesn't have the trait. This female, she doesn't have the trait, but she carries it. Is it possible to have sons that have the trait? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, I've got some yeses and I've got some no's. I've got a bunch. A lot of yeses, few no's. Yes, it is possible. This male right here, it's possible. He could express the trait. There's a 50% chance if you have a son that they express the trait. There's a 0% chance if you have a female that she'll express the trait. These are both males. So do we know with this information, do they give us enough information to answer this question? Well, they don't. They don't give us enough information. There's no way to tell whether this is autosomal or X-linked. What we would need is some more data. We need more generations. We'll work through some more problems next class. You must practice before you come in. I'm literally, if you go in and you haven't practiced this, or at least tried on that handout, then I may just not let you in class. I want to keep this to people that are going to give this an attempt. So give this an honest attempt. And if you need some help, I'll up with office hours for pedigrees tomorrow after school. Today, I'm going to go over the quiz. All right. Any questions before I let you guys go?
Mr. Pope,
Say,
what do I do to make it so where I can edit the document?
log in with your Uplift account.
I am logged in. When I went to the when I went to the document, it has my school email, and then when I try to switch it to my other email, it wouldn't even let me go to it. So both.
Oh, don't switch it to your other email. Keep it on your school email.
Yeah, so 'cause I was trying to see if my school email was just messing up or something, but it's on the school email. It just won't let me edit it.
Really? Is that true for anybody else? If you send me a request for edit, yeah, if you send me a request for edit, I'll use it. I'll give you edit permission from another email address.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want us to
Yeah.
submit this? Mr.
You don't have to submit it. You do not have to submit it. I'll just go in through and read it. And I can just go look at your progress. It's not a big deal. It's not for a grade. It's for practice. But if I see people not practice it, it just means you're coming to class just to get attendance. And I'm not down for that. That's mediocrity.
Can I write on a piece of paper and submit and like send it to you if I can't edit
Sure.
it? Okay.
Or just send me a request for edit and I'll send it.
No, like the request to edit is grayed out.
That's ridiculous. Okay, yeah, you could do that too. I'll hang out if anybody else has any questions. If not, you guys are dismissed for lunch.
Do we turn in the practice problems or just keep?
You do not have to turn them in. I can click on there and check your progress. You don't have to submit. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about those. I'm gonna have to show you these.
So you want us to complete it all?
I want you to do the best job you can. You don't have to get it right. I want you to try to figure it out.
All right.
Wrestle with it. Think about it before you just look at it. You have enough, and go back and watch this video and then figure this out. Think about this. Yes, that's the one. I'll stay here and answer any questions if you guys don't want to stay back. So Tristan, Brandon, do you guys have questions?
No, I'm about to leave right now, sir. Have a good day.
All right, Stein, you have a question? Stein, am I on?